So the hot topic right now is the proposal for the Super League. By the time this interview comes out, which will be in a few weeks, chances are there won't be. This whole idea will be dissolved, or it will be, shelved. So you mentioned conflict of interest, right? There's something I actually just came up with, before we started recording, which it never even occurred to me before, right? What occurred to me, well, actually, let me before I even give my perspective on the situation, let me ask you your perspective on the Super League situation.
Well, I mean, as you said, this recording is going to be out in a couple weeks, and as of right now, it's down to 2 teams, right? It's like El Clasico all over again. with Barcelona and Madrid being the final two. I mean, look, I see what they were trying to do. I mean, like they say, the cream always rises to the top, right?
Facts.
So you've got all these billion-dollar, clubs. Manchester United is on the stock exchange, and Barcelona is owned by the members, so is Real Madrid, and they generate a lot of money. So these clubs never get relegated anyway. So they figured, hey, why don't we just start a Super League where we're all going to be together? It'll be like the NFL, it'll be like the NHL, it'll be like Major League Baseball, where it doesn't matter how bad you are. I mean, you could finish like Washington Redskins did good this season, but like say the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL, you can finish last and not go anywhere. You're just going to come back the next year. You can share revenue. So I understood what they were trying to do. Yeah. But the problem is Europe has a model that I think others want to emulate. It's just they're afraid to emulate, because of the financial reasons, right? So the fact that, say, Germany, even though, none of the German clubs got involved with the Super League, but you can go to Germany, you could play down to Division 7 or 8 or something. And those Division 7, 8 clubs can actually move up. Even if you started a club in a pub and give yourself an opportunity, this is like a local club that people can actually get behind. There's solidarity payments that pass hands, right? So if a Division 8 player from Germany is excelling and he's good enough to play in the Bundesliga, then that player could be bought by, Bayern Munich or whatever. To me, I think that's a great model because it kind of, circulates the money, and it kind of gives clubs an opportunity that they don't have the money of, your Real Madrids or your Barcelonas, in order to move up, but they can stay somewhat sustainable, so it's just kind of, it's kind of strange because, people, I think, do look to Europe with the promotion relegation, and this Super League was just going to totally take that away, and it was just going to pretty much be, again, like the NFL and like, Major League Baseball. So, again, I see what they were trying to do, but I just don't think it's really needed, just because people do emulate, La Liga and the Premier League and, the Championship League and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I have, there's so much I have to say about this, but what you just brought up, I think that's a great point about, the relegation aspect of most of, the leagues in, outside of America, essentially, right? So outside of American sports, in most countries, there's this relegation aspect that, goes up and down. And to my understanding, at no point was the Super League going to have any impact on the relegation aspect. It would, the whole idea was that, all the teams that were still in the EPL will still have the EPL structure and it can still relegate, etc. The only difference would be the Super League that has these, mega teams that when any of these teams finish lower than 6th place, it's national news. Matter of fact, when they're lower than 6th place during the season, not at the end of the season, right? During the season, if any of these teams are at 6th place, the coach gets fired.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So
Jose Mourinho, right? Didn't he just get fired from Spurs?
Yeah. Like Tuchel just came into Chelsea, right? Chelsea,
Mhm.
like this, every single one of them. So like for me, so that's the first thing I wanted to say was that the whole idea of relegation was still gonna still stay in place in the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, etc. It's just that these mega teams were gonna be in the Super League where there won't be relegation because they do not relegate. They've like it's not even a concept. Like before it even starts to by the time they start getting to 7, the coaches get like they start bringing in new players. Like I mean it's not even it's so that's the first dishonesty for me that I was noticing about people who claim to know football and follow football and and all this stuff and really the way it was done, which I think is the unique aspect of this, is that what was done was UEFA and the the major media outlets, so Sky Sports, etc., push this narrative that this is gonna hurt football. This is a war on football, right? This is like completely against everything football stands for. This is going to destroy competition. This is all this stuff, right? And for a while, I was kind of like, especially like watching all the football personalities on Sky Sports and talk. I was trying to figure this out. I was like, what these I would think these guys would know better. Like they'll truly they'll have an understanding. But then, when it actually clicked to me today when I was talking to James, I was like, oh, I see what this is. So here it is from a business aspect, right? And then we can go into, so the argument from the narrative they created that this is going to destroy competition. This is, like you're supposed to play and the best you win and this and that, like etc. Right? Okay. Every one of these teams, the 12 teams originally that was in there are in their leagues, in Serie A and in La Liga is 1 and 2, right? Yep. And in the English league, all of those are in the top 6. I mean, they like, and then Champions League. Matter of fact, I'm not even so before it converted into Champions League, but it's always been like the European Cup, right? So from 1956 to now, there's only outside of those 12 teams, there's only been 12 other teams that's even won the cup.
Right.
It's always those teams.
It was like 99 trophies between those 12 teams.
It's always those teams. Right. It's always those teams. Yep. Right. And then the other team, the other teams that weren't included in that list that won happened to be Ajax, Porto. So these are also in their leagues. They're the super teams in their leagues as well, right? So this is the part where this whole idea of just fair competition, like we make it sound like I mean the discussion made it sound like, oh, it's just guys, like it's not like like if you look at I was thinking about this. If you look at any of these teams, like you look at Man City, you look at Man U, you look at Barca, Real, Juventus, etc. Every one of these teams, what they have on their team is a super team. They have the top player in their position. Every one of these teams, everyone on the starting lineup is a starter on their national team.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a question, right? Like the guys who don't start on the national team are on Everton, on Aston Villa. Or, they may not even get a call to the national team, right? But on these teams, they're all the stars,
All
right?
starters,
And
right.
and if you go country specific, you go to Spain. Between Barca and Real Madrid, I think they have like 7 of the starters on the Spanish national team. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
and then if you go to England, those 6 teams or whatever it is, like all the starters are right there. Like they're all on Man U, Man City, like they're all there.
Right.
So
there's no competition anyway.
Yeah, that's the point, right?
Right.
But this narrative was created, right? The narrative was created that, oh no, this is going to destroy competition. This is going to destroy the league. When even the EPL, like, every now and then,
Leicester City might slip through the cracks or something.
And you saw how big of a deal that was, right? Like everyone, because it was a big deal, right? But did that happen the next year?
No.
Did it happen the year after?
It was
like,
5 years ago.
Yeah, they shut that down. Like that.
I mean, is Man City leading the way now? Man City is going to lead the way for a while. Yeah. And plus, I kind of add what you're saying. Look at how many of those 12 teams have been in situations where there was no financial fair play. You know, on top of that, right? Then UEFA would fine them financial fair play, because they had the amount of money to go get players. I think Chelsea got in a situation. Barcelona's been in situations.
Every single one of them.
So the competition, there's really no competition in the first place, right? So I totally agree with you. UEFA's narrative, it was again, UEFA and FIFA in one corner to try to monopolize everything because they figured, hey, these 12 clubs are leaving, and we're gonna now lose money. So we're gonna say, hey, you guys are not alled to play in the World Cup.
That's my point. So here's what I came up with. Here's what I came up with, right? So I was like, because I was trying to figure out like why, ex-ballers, Roy Kane, like, all these guys.
Ferdinand came out.
All these guys on Sky Sport, like, they're all there talking. I was trying to figure.
Came out.
I'm trying to figure out why. And so then I was like, oh, I get it. Here's what it is. Right now, there's a contract, right? So there's a contract with EPL. So think about it this way. Say EPL has a $100 million contract for the season with Sky Sports. Well, when the Super League starts, all these teams that the reason people watch the EPL anyway is to see, these ballers on these teams. Outside of the diehard. See, this is the part where I think they're not being honest about, right? Now, if I'm from like a small town in England, right? In my town, like if I'm Burley, like in my town has a team, right? And I've been a diehard, like you said, we started this team in the pubs, etc. We built it up, etc. And this team is now in the English Premier League. I'm watching this team, right? If I'm in Singapore, I'm not interested in Burley. Right. I'm interested in Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. Those are the teams I'm trying to see. So Burley is cool and it's good, but Burley is not why folks is watching the EPL.
Right. You don't see people walking around with Burnley jerseys.
Now, if I'm from Burley, if I'm from that city, yeah, I'm repping that, that hard. And, we want our boys to win. Like, we want these lads to do their thing, etc. And hopefully they may get a win here, they may get a point here, and then move up. And it's entertaining, and that's good. But the real interest, the worldwide interest for European football does not come from these small clubs.
Right. Even
the players on these small clubs, as soon as they get the opportunity, they jump to these bigger clubs. Right? Okay. So here's the thing. When you have the EPL with this $100 million broadcasting contract with Sky Sports, but then the Super League starts, right? So then you take these 6 teams out of the EPL, and now they're in the Super League. And the Super League said, well, no, we need our contract, because this is what everyone wants to see anyway. Our contract needs to be $500 million. So now Sky Sports have 2 contracts to broadcast that $100 million that nobody's watching, because all the top teams are no longer there, and now the $500 million that everyone's watching, right? So there's a financial piece there that none of these guys are being honest about when they're making these broadcast narratives about this is a war on football. This is this and that. Like, and because when I first, when it first started, the first thing I said, I was like, well, I was like, I get the money aspect, like it's fine to say the money, but if we're going to talk about just from a pure competitive standpoint, why do we have the Champions League and it's only for European teams? Why not have like if it's champions, because the idea behind the Champions League is, and the way it's sold to the world is, these are the best clubs competing against each other, right?
Yep.
And then the winner, the person, the final one wins. Mm-hmm. Well, if that's really our goal, to really push football globally and, really true competition, why aren't we having, first of all, England shouldn't have 6 place, whatever spots. It should be 2. Like, it should be every major league should have two
spots.
Yeah, 2 spots. The winner and the second runner up, right? And then we open this up to all the major leagues, right? So Latin America, like
Africa,
the entire American block, the entire African block, the entire Asian block, etc. All the blocks, right? And you can and the thing is, this is going to be even, like, for me, I'm like, this would be so much better for football, because not only would it open the pot to where everyone can see the true talent that exists around the world, right? So now when you have all the American teams playing each other, right? So we're talking from Canada, from the MLS to the Brazilian league, like
League, Peruvian
league, all of that, right? Like all of them playing each other, and then the best 4 or whatever it is, are the ones that go to the semis, and then you do the same with Africa, etc. Then when you have Real Madrid playing Flamengo. Now, I mean, like, can you imagine? Can you
imagine that? Right.
Like,
Mike, but currently, don't FIFA running the
FIFA World Cup kind of does something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, that's not what it is. Like, first of all, what they do is,
they just take like the best team, like whoever finishes best in MLS will play against like whoever finishes best in like some Australian league.
Yeah. And those games, like, it's not even a thing. It's not like, the thing right now is the Champions League, and it, because it's marketed and sold as the best competition, right? So if we're saying like now, if like, FIFA like, and the other part of this is like the demands on these players' bodies, right? So, I mean, like, if the Super League were to exist while these teams are still in their native leagues, these guys would be playing like 5 games, for like a week.
4 games.
You know what I mean? Not even including like the international.
Not even getting like the 72 hours you need to recover your body.
Yeah. Like it'll be crazy, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, like. So, like, I just think it's interesting, like, how the media really in FIFA and UEFA was able to control the narrative and really have folks thinking that, oh, this is like gonna destroy football.
Yeah.
And this is so different than what's going on right now in the first place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what is it like right now? The top teams have, every one of the top teams have either some billionaire financier family,
a lot of Americans,
some sheik family, or
Russians, or
and
Italians.
For Madrid and Barca, you have those are the premier clubs, so these are all mega $billion. Each one of these are $1 billion industries. I mean, like entities.
Right.
So
I mean, they're sold on a stock exchange. I mean, you can get some Juventus stock.
Yeah.
Manchester United stock. And they're public entities.
Yeah.
And to add on that, I think the frustration, especially somewhere like in England, where those people are worrying about like the followers, the supporters, or even the lower clubs, is if you get rid of those top 6 players, right, the revenue change for those clubs, right? So when you move into the Super League, then there's no revenue for those teams to thrive and survive. So that's where the frustration will come in. I don't think it's more of now the competitive issue. I think it was,
no, but that's what was said.
yeah.
So that's my point. My point is like,
but I think
be honest.
Yes, the honest. Yeah, I'm not talking about. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying the frustration for the people.
No, but that's not what was said. The what was said, even with the like, even when the you would show when Sky Sports would show the protesters outside Chelsea or outside Man City or whatever it is, but no one was talking about the money, right? Everyone is talking about this is going to destroy football, the competition, this and that, etc. It was all competition. So that's why I said, if it's really about competition, let's have all these international clubs compete. Right? So that's the first thing. If it's really about competition. But it's like,
right.
I don't think it's not.
Right. But I mean, the Champions League did say they were going to expand to 36 teams.
Yes.
Right. Didn't the Champions League say they were going to expand to 36 teams? But I don't know what really that means, because like even the Real Madrid president said, like, no one understands the Champions League. Like, even I don't understand it. Right. All right. I know you get like you said, in the Premier League, the top 4 qualify, and then the other ones go to Europa. Right. But it's like, what really is the Champions League, right? What it really is it? I mean,
that's my point. My point is, so like Europa is already there, right? Europa is already there as the European competition. So if we're gonna have a Champions League, right? Let's have the champions of the world compete against each other. Like that, like to me, like this is what I'm saying about like the dishonesty. So like, what the media, what the narrative has done is confused the working class supporter of these teams, because now they're out there saying, oh, this is going to destroy competition. No, like we're not even, like right now we don't even have pure competition. That doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist in any sport, period, because like the way it works is monopolies, right? Like in anything, once you become a monopoly and you have the resources, you get the best talent. Right? So these big clubs get a lot of big talent. But what I'm saying is that's fine for now. And what I keep saying is like, if part of the thing, what I think is the reason for not opening it up to the international clubs is because this is what it's gonna do is it's gonna really open up the pie, and it's gonna make a bigger pie for the non-European clubs. Because also, as we all know, all of these, like you look at any of these top teams, a large majority of their superstars are not native Europeans. Right? So, and a lot of these folks are from warm weather places. Right? So this is the other, it's like a funny part about this story, right? So the way I look at it is like, if you open this up where now I can play at River Plate or I don't know, Flamingo, and still get like international, like of course if I'm playing at River Plate, I'm getting national views in Argentina and in South America and stuff. But now I can become an international star because I'm playing and everybody can see me. The reason we know all these European stars is because this is what we see all the time on all the media platforms, right?
It was marketed. Yeah, it was marketed to us. Yeah.
So now if we have like a true Champions League where if I win, and so I'm at River Plate, I'm balling out and I win. Now I'm a international, like everybody knows me, right? The River Plate jerseys are selling out the stores, etc. You think all the Messi, right? Messi, the Amir, like all the Argentinians, right? Aguero, all of these guys, you think they're not gonna want to go play for River Plate, where they're gods, you know what I mean? Like where they will be gods, and they're in the warm weather. And the reason this actually came to me is like funny because I remember years ago when Tevez was at Man City, and in the middle of the season he broke his contract because he said it was too cold and he needed to go back to his warm homeland. Argentina, yeah. And like and all the news report, like it was like a joke, like oh, this guy's crazy, etc. But that struck me, and I was like, yes, like people want to be where home is. And if they had the opportunity to earn the same type of lifestyle and get the same prestige if they're home, chances are they'll stay at home. So imagine like all the Argentinians playing in the Argentine league, all the Brazilians playing in the Brazilian league, all the Nigerians playing in the Nigerian league, all the Egyptians playing in the Egypt. I mean, like who would be talking about the EPL? It would be like Burnley, Aston Villa, you know, like
right. Because the talent won't be there. The talent will not be there. And I mean, you know, Zlatan, you know, Ibrahimovic, you know, I know he's crazy things recently, but he said something like that, and I agree with him. He said, well, what if, but he said it more on the international level. You know, what if, like, you know, France winning the World Cup, you know, Africa won that World Cup. Everybody can kind of make that case, right? Because you had a lot of guys of African descent. But what if those guys decided to play in their country? You know, France isn't winning a World Cup. No, England wouldn't be very good.
I mean, like that's the Dutch. I mean, like you can go down the line, like it's not.
Go down the line.
I mean, so it's no, but it's something that, like, so for me, when this Super League thing came about, I was like, and people started talking about competition, I was like, maybe I'm missing something. But for me, I can understand making the money argument, you know, saying that, oh no, you know, this would take away money from us. But don't, like, let's keep it, like, let's just draw the line and not make this discussion about competition, because that's not what this is. Even in this current state, you know what I mean? Like, even in this current state, the winners of the Champions League, you know, maybe 70% are these 12 teams.
Right.
And then the other, you know, 30% are the teams that weren't a part of the 12 teams that they were going to invite, like Ajax, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, I'm not sure I understand, you know, this argument, but yeah, so it's just something. I think it's interesting, man, the power of media.
It is, man. Media is a very, very powerful tool. You know, you saw all these folks, all these fans at Chelsea and Liverpool say, oh, you know, forget Dan Kroenke of Arsenal and F him and Kroenke out and this, that, and the other, Abramovich out, you know. So they made it feel as though it was the fans that made that happen. You know, which I don't think it was the fans that, you know, that made that decision. After all these teams started to pull out. You know, it goes back to, you know, again, that narrative, you know, that you mentioned. So, the media is a powerful tool, man. You're definitely right.
Yeah, man.